Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of our CSS Animations mini-series. Now in this video we will be speed coding a homepage animation, and we actually will be taking the existing blog layout from the CSS Grid mini-series on the last episode. So this is the HTML we were left with, which is a very simple blog layout. I'm going to go ahead and copy that into what we have here, and then I'm going to take the CSS. Now, if you want a guide on how to make the blog layout itself, which I will show right now, you can go and watch at least the last episode in our CSS Grid mini-series. Now let me finish grabbing this layout and pasting it. Perfect. Now let's go ahead and close the irrelevant tabs and then go live. So if I'm not mistaken, this should be our blog layout. Perfect. So this is the layout we created when we kind of made our CSS Grid demonstration on the last video. Now what we are going to be doing is we will be leaving alone all of these styles we applied, and we will be adding some more styles to grant some animation to our website. So the main thing I want to do is just, we're probably going to have probably two main animations. We're going to have a pop-in animation similar to the one we made in the previous video, and then maybe a fade-in animation of some sort. So let's get to work on that. And just for simplicity, I'm going to be adding all the new animations on the bottom of this CSS file. So of course we already have some pre-existing things, like let's just start by making our blog posts, these pictures, pop in. So let's go to our, to start off, I just want to get our cubic Bezier curves, our cubic Bezier curve website, so that we can generate something that looks promising. We want it to probably start, moderately fast, but then really dip up like that, maybe. Something like that, but we'll see. So let's go ahead and copy this. So we're going to start off by, notice we have a blog post selector. Now again, just for the sake of simplicity and the sake of focusing on what we're doing in this video, I am going to be leaving all of these styles alone, so I will be duplicating some styles. So there is a second blog post style, even though, this one is for the kind of grid display, and then this one here is for our animation. And then also we're going to need to make a keyframe for pop in, which will be 0%, and then finally 100%. Now at 0%, of course, we want our transform of scale to be 0, and at 100% we want our transform of scale to be 1. Simple as that. That's just for our keyframes. Now for the actual blog posts themselves, let's come here to the document. Let's specify our animation to be pop in. And then we probably want it to be a 1 second duration maybe, and we'll play around with that, and then we'll try this cubic Bezier here. So this is what it looks like so far. Every time it does that, they pop in like that. Now, I'm not sure how I feel about the speed of it popping in. So let's definitely lower this down to 0.5. And let me upsize my font size a bit. Let's just make this slightly bigger so it's easier to see. Yeah, I'm trying to do that so that my text is easier to read. So let's go ahead and, so we changed the time, let's change it actually to 0.3 and see how that looks. Maybe 0.1, 0.2. Maybe like that. Again, we're just messing around with the value. I really don't know what works or what would be best. So of course, so we're actually, funnily enough, running into this small issue of loading times, where the image is not loading fast enough. Now I'm just gonna remedy this by first of all adding a 0.5 second delay, just because there would be other solutions, but for now we're just gonna add that delay. And then let's add, let me just ensure I know which direction my animations go in. Timing, delay, iteration count, and then direction, right? So we have one iteration, and then we want to go in both directions so that they start gone, and then there we go. So like that. So all of our images, I'm gonna make it a 1 second delay. So all of our images after a second will kind of pop in. They'll pop in like that. So I mean that's just a decently looking animation. I don't personally love it, but you know, that would just be some more messing around with the cubic Bezier function to get it looking how you want it on your website. So aside from that, we want to maybe make a fade in keyframe. So let's just actually go ahead and copy, and this is a little bit of a reference to my previous video on the top 3 non-technical skills, and one of them is copying and pasting. And yeah, I guess the other 2 counted. And yeah, one of the top skills that you can have is just being able to copy and paste code, really. And I was working earlier today at my software engineering job, and that is 50% of my job. And no, it's even more percent, because half the time I'm copying and pasting my own code that I've written previously. Because the point is the better of a developer you are, the more code you have, like on your computer, and you can take that code instead of having to rewrite it line by line, and it's much faster. So just a little note there. So I just copy and paste and rename some stuff, like this one will be a fade in. And instead of transform scale, we will have a probably opacity to be 0, and then opacity to be 1, and opacity just means the visibility of the thing. So now that we have that animation, let's go ahead and maybe animate all of our headers. I don't know if those are H1s. Main content. Yeah, those are H1s, it seems. So let's go ahead and just add a quick style to our H1s down here. And let's make them animation, maybe fade in over the course of 0.5 seconds maybe. And then let's do an ease. You know, I don't want to keep making cubic Beziers. Let's have them be no delay. In fact, let's make them fade in over 1 second. And then let's have 0 second delay, 1 iteration, they start. So like that. So notice these fade in, and then the images pop in. So that's pretty cool. Now we can also animate our list items, so our P's as well. If we wanted to, we could add a comma here, and then add a P, and that will add the same animation to these menu items. Or if we even wanted to do this, 0.5, if we want to have an H1 here, and then we wanted to have if we wanted to, okay, so this is a cool trick. So if I put H1P, this will animate both the paragraphs and the H1, but if I actually write a P down here and change only the animation delay to maybe 0.5 seconds, then what that will do is that will overwrite that for these. So this fades in, and then the menu items fade in, and then the images fade in. So you can see that all happening there. And then I guess one other thing we could add is animating in our header maybe, and we could have them maybe fly in from the top. So let's make a final keyframe, and I think this is the better one to copy, and let's just make it fly in top. And what that'll do is, instead of transform scale, we will transform the translate, and it'll start at negative, let's just test first. So what I want to do is I want to apply this to we'll apply it to our entire nav for now. So we will style the nav, and then we will say animation fly in top, and then we will say it will happen, maybe we'll make it happen for whatever reason at the very end after everything fades in. So let's just see. That'll be like 1.2 seconds in, I think, or that'll be the delay. So 1.2 seconds will be the delay. The actual fly-in will make it happen over 0.5 seconds, and then we'll apply an ease, and then so 1.2 second delay, 1 iteration, and it'll start from above, so it won't be visible. So we'll watch this happen. So if I save this, if I save the code, let's see what happens now. I'm trying to gauge. I think I messed something up here. It might not be the nav that we need to animate. We might need to add nav do the ULs or the LIs or not. Let's figure out what's going on here. So actually, what happens if we grab that nav and we give a transform? And again, these are genuinely things that I don't know. This isn't scripted, but this is a problem you would run into as just a regular programmer trying to figure this out. So yeah, this is all part of it. Transform, translate. So if I try to transform, translate this by, why is that being so annoying? 100 pixels. Okay, so that does transform it, although I do want to translate the Y here. But it's not working for some reason, so let's figure this out. So I want to animate our nav, fly in top, 0.5 seconds, 0.5 second, there we go. So that's our problem. And let's just test this here. -10, -20, -30, -30, and then we can say 0. So, or we can say -50, actually. So this is what happens, or -100, just to get them out. So everything fades in, and then our nav bar kind of flies in from the top, right at the end there. And if we wanted to make it, for example, slower at the end, we could instead do an ease out, which would slow it down at the end. So our things come down and they slow down as they hit where they're supposed to be. So that is pretty much all I had planned for this video. Let me just go ahead and quickly check these off. Yeah, if you want to see all the topics that we've explored on making these animations, you can check out the playlist, which is linked in the description, where I've been uploading daily. I believe the next upcoming CSS mini-series is either going to be Tailwind CSS or Materialize CSS, both of which are what's called CSS frameworks, which are responsible for making it much easier to write styles for our website. They give you a bunch of tools that make things like writing nav bars easy and adding shadows and a bunch of random boring stuff, and they make it easier basically. So if you're excited for that, go ahead and follow my channel. Those are coming soon. If you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for notifications whenever I post new videos. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.